Somewhere beneath your feet, the ground doesn't stop. It keeps going, down past the reach of daylight, past the point where a rope runs out, past the depth where the air itself turns against you. There are caves on this planet that have swallowed the people who tried to map them and given nothing back. Places where the water rises without warning, where the heat can kill you in 20 minutes, where the last thing an explorer saw was a passage that simply kept descending into the dark. These are 10 caves so deep, so hostile, that the men and women who study the underground did the one thing scientists are trained never to do. They turned around, counting down to the deepest known place a human being has ever gone. Number 10. Sistema Sac Acton, Mexico. Under the jungle of the Yucatan runs the longest flooded cave system ever found. More than 200 miles of drowned tunnels, black water in every direction, no air and no surface for hours at a time. Divers navigate it by a single guideline, because to lose that line is to lose everything. Silt kicked up by a fin can blind you completely in seconds. The system has claimed experienced cave divers who did everything right and still didn't come out. It is beautiful in a photograph. In person, it is a labyrinth that does not forgive a single mistake. Number 9. Sarawak Chamber, Malaysia. Deep inside a mountain in Borneo is a single cave chamber so large that the explorers who found it could not see the far walls with their lights. It is big enough to hold several passenger jets nose to tail, and the floor is a chaos of collapsed boulders in total darkness. The danger here isn't a narrow squeeze. It's the opposite. It's scale. You cross a black void with no reference point, no sense of the ceiling far above you, aware that any one of the house-sized blocks underfoot could shift. The mind is not built for a room this dark and this vast. Most who go simply want back to the entrance. Number 8. Son Doong, Vietnam. The largest cave passage on Earth is so big, it grew its own world inside it. A jungle, a river, and clouds that form beneath the rock. But the reason Son Doong stayed hidden until 2009 is the reason it's still feared. Explorers pushing deeper hit a wall of flowstone nearly 300 feet high, blocking the passage. Climbers named it the Great Wall of Vietnam. Beyond it, the cave floods. The river that runs through the dark can rise fast enough to trap anyone caught on the wrong side. For years, the far end was simply a question no one could safely answer. Number 7. Sótano de las Golondrinas, Mexico. In the mountains of central Mexico is a pit that opens in the ground like a wound. The Cave of Swallows. The floor is over 1,000 feet straight down, deep enough to drop a skyscraper into and lose it. There are no ledges, no stopping. You go over the edge on rope alone, spinning slowly in open air with the walls too far to touch, and the descent takes minutes. A single failure of nerve or gear is a fall of nearly a quarter mile. The birds that give the cave its name pour out of it at dawn in a spiral. They can fly out. A human being cannot. Number 6. Nutty Putty Cave, Utah. Some caves are closed because of what almost happened. This one is sealed because of what did. In 2009, a young man exploring a tight passage in Nutty Putty took a wrong turn into a crevice barely wider than his body and became wedged upside down, head below his feet, in a space too narrow to turn around. Rescuers worked for more than a day. They could not free him. He died there, in the dark, hundreds of feet from the entrance. The decision that followed was final. The cave was not emptied. It was sealed shut with him still inside, turned into a permanent grave. No one goes deeper into Nutty Putty now. There is no deeper to go. Number 5. Cueva de los Cristales, Nica, Mexico. Nearly 1,000 feet down in a Mexican silver mine, workers broke into a chamber that looks like the inside of a geode built for giants. Beams of crystal the length of buses. Some of the largest natural crystals ever found, and it is one of the most lethal places a person can stand. The air sits near 136 degrees at almost total humidity. Your lungs cannot cool the air you breathe. Your body cannot shed heat. Even in specialized cooled suits, scientists could last only minutes at a time before their vision blurred and their minds began to slip. Push past that limit, and the cave kills you where you stand. When the mine's pumps were shut off, the water returned and swallowed the crystals again, sealing them back into the dark that made them. If this is getting under your skin, subscribe. Every week we go somewhere the world would rather stay buried. Number 4. Moval Cave, Romania. For 5.5 million years, a cave in Romania was sealed off from the surface completely. No light, no fresh air, cut off before humans even existed. When scientists finally drilled in, they found the air itself was a poison. Almost no oxygen, thick with hydrogen sulfide and carbon dioxide, the kind of atmosphere that kills an unprepared person quickly. And living in it, in total darkness, was an entire ecosystem found nowhere else on Earth. Dozens of species of pale, eyeless creatures that had evolved to breathe the toxic gas. Movili is so fragile and so dangerous that only a handful of researchers have ever been permitted inside, and only for minutes. It is a sealed world that was never meant to be opened. Number 3. Sistema Huautla, Mexico. The deepest cave in the Americas drops nearly a mile straight into the mountains of Oaxaca, a system so vast that expeditions must camp underground for days to reach the bottom. Down there, the passage floods, forcing divers to swim through drowned tunnels with no guarantee of air on the other side. Huautla has killed. One of the sport's most accomplished divers died at its deepest sump, and his body could not be recovered. The cave was simply too deep and too hostile to reach him. To explore the bottom of Huautla is to accept that if something goes wrong, no one is coming. Number 2. Krubera Cave, Abkhazia. High in a lonely mountain, massive on the edge of the Black Sea, is the cave that first proved a cave could go more than 2,000 meters deep. Krubera, the Crow's Cave. Reaching its depths takes weeks, hauling gear down a chain of freezing vertical shafts and flooded passages. The great terror of Krubera is the water. Deep in the system, without warning, the passages can flood as meltwater surges through the mountain, cutting off the only way out and forcing teams to wait, trapped, praying the level drops. Explorers have been pinned underground for days. For years, Krubera was the deepest place a human being had ever descended. Then someone found the cave next door. Number 1. Veryovkina Cave, Abkhazia. And the deepest known cave on Earth sits in the same remote massif. Veryovkina, a shaft that plunges more than 2,200 meters into the ground. 2,212 meters at the last survey, deeper than 7 Empire State Buildings stacked underground. It takes an expedition the better part of 2 weeks to reach the bottom, through a nightmare of narrow drops, cold water, and darkness so complete that direction stops having meaning. In 2018, a team standing at the deepest point ever reached by humans watched the water at their feet begin to rise. A flash flood, surging up from below, in the one place on the planet from which there is the longest possible climb to safety. They ran upward for their lives, gear abandoned, water chasing them through the shafts. They made it out. The cave is still there, still filling and draining in the dark, and its true bottom, if it has one, has never been touched. 10 caves, and the same pattern in every one. A point where the rock stops being a place and starts being a threat. Where the smartest, best prepared people alive looked at what came next and chose to go back. We like to think there's nowhere left on Earth we haven't been, but the ground beneath us is hollow in ways we've barely begun to map. And every cave on this list still holds passages no human has ever entered. Somewhere down there, the descent is still going. Next time, we follow the water even lower. Notes: all 10 caves real and documented. Sac Acton, Sarawak Chamber, Sondung, Sótano de las Golondrinas, Nuri Puri, Cueva de los Cristales/Naica, Mobile, Sistema Huautla, Krubera/Boronia, Veryovkina. Veryovkina. Depth resolved. July 15th, 2026. 2,212 meters per the 2018 Perovo Speleo survey. Widely documented. Naica, approximately 58 degrees Celsius, / approximately 136 degrees Fahrenheit and Nutty Putty. John Edward Jones, 2009, sealed with body inside, are historically accurate. No hype, no persona, no shorts. Reverend Register. Measured, somber. Warning edge. Short first, approximately 1,470 watts countdown. 1 mid-roll CTA after number 5.